What's up, guys? It's Squeegee Life with Mark Tanner and T. Squeege.
Yeah,
TJ
man.
Gilbert. We're not doing Outlaw Window Cleaner Radio anymore. We fucking give up. We're burning the whole group down. We're just gonna light a match, throw some gas, and be done. No. So I've been I see that you are working your balls off. You're on a new one, and I've done two homeowners associations I've never done before. So they've been, those brutal first cleans, because they're like, well, we have a guy that usually does it, but he's not really good. And then you get there and you're like, this guy didn't do these windows, that's why he's not really good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like a blade or a piece of wool or a washer has not touched these windows in a really long time.
Well, it all goes back to sometimes guys will sit there and spend more time figuring out what they're not going to do than physically
just doing
the right job.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it also goes back to if he was getting enough money to physically do the job properly, but shame on him. I see it all the time.
I bid it
right now.
I bid it for, a couple of guys, $100 a man hour a guy, so that's $200 an hour. And, I actually made double the money because we did it in half the time I thought I was going to do it in. You know what I mean? So I just...
Nice. That's good when it works out like that.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was or not, but my sister's boyfriend has really come along with the squeegee a lot quicker than most people I've trained. And, he was just looking for something part-time, and I was like, I could use somebody for like 3 or 4 weeks, maybe a month, maybe a little bit more, 1099 you, and we'll knock this shit out. And it's been working really good. I've been knocking them down and setting them up, setting them up and knocking them down. So,
nice.
It's been pretty good.
Just keep going in that direction then, you know.
Are your woes at the new hospital that you've picked up, are they worse, or is it getting better?
You know what it is, TJ? This is what it is. I bid this job 6 months ago I've done hospital work, but it's always been on the cleanup side, construction cleaning and whatnot. Yeah. So this you have to qualify through the healthcare, the company, and we did, and it was a 6-month process. And this particular building has been construction cleaned, but it's never been window cleaning, any maintenance cleaning on it. So we're the first ones there. It's 6 different buildings, and 5 of them are, there's a little bit of everything. There's ladder work, there's water-fed pole work, there's lift work, and there's rope work. So you got to really be ready to go.
On that one.
Yeah, and we don't know our way around. And a hospital's like an airport. Right. You never come out the same door you went in.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And so we go through all this stuff, and then we get 16 days of rain, and then I get a notice saying we're very unhappy and we're going to give you 30 days notice of cancellation. I'm like, whoa, I'm damned if I do, I'm damned if I don't. All right, show up and wash your windows in the rain, okay? You're going to be like, we only do this twice a year, and you're doing it in the rain,
Right.
And I said, I sent you an email specifically stating when the weather clears, we're on the schedule. And realistically, the best part of the job is that it's 6 buildings and it's lobby work every month, and then twice a year the entire place, which is what I always shoot for. And the problem is that they dumped it in our lap, and I said, can we do the monthly maintenance the first month, and then we'll give you the second month, we'll do the entire place. This way we get acclimated, right? So they're like, no, we need the whole thing done. So now you're walking into a much bigger shitstorm, basically,
Exactly. Because you don't know where the fuck you're going. You don't know the ins and outs. It's
you don't. There's courtyards where you have to bring your equipment through a hospital, and I'm just not a fan of walking through a hospital with buckets or DI carts or you know what I'm saying? It's a hospital.
Yeah, I have a similar job where at the veterans home, where you have to bring your equipment through because they have inside courtyards. You know what I mean? Where the guys go out and bullshit and they play with peacocks and shit. I gotta drag all that shit through there. You know what I mean? It's so fucking pain in the ass.
So I get a nasty gram on a Saturday last week, and I said, you know what? We'll be there Monday. I show up with 5 guys, and I park. And before I could walk in to find out, do I need a badge? I mean, they told us nothing. Just come wash the windows.
Mm-hmm.
Do I need a badge? Do I need access cards? Do we need to sign in with security? What's the deal here? Oh, yeah. Come into the office. We'll get you access pass. So I park my truck. I walk in. I give them my driver's license. They give us an access badge. And then I got some guy screaming at me that I can't park where I park. They're going to put a boot on my truck. And I'm like, yeah, touch my truck. Watch what happens, asshole. This is going to go real bad, real quick.
Yeah.
You know?
This is going to go from clean windows to ass whoopings real fast.
Yeah. So I go, okay, can we park in the parking garage? No, you can't park in the parking garage. Okay, where can we park? Well, you could pull up in front of each building and unload your equipment, but after that, you have to park on the other side of that fence, which is, I'm not lying to you, TJ, over a quarter mile away. So if God forbid you forget a scraper, I'm not kidding you, dude. If you forget a scraper,
you're fucked.
You're walking.
Yeah.
You know. So this was my Tuesday. Monday went okay. My Tuesday, I pull in to get my ID badge.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The woman that gets the ID badge, she's there. So I said to this other guy, I need an ID badge, and then there's a courtyard that I need to access because they requested the window cleaning done this morning before all the people come in. Mm-hmm. And he says, well, I don't know anything about that. And I said, well, she told me you have to go through an equipment room. He goes, oh, that would be over here. So he's just sitting there eating a bagel, you know, and I'm like, well, can you show me where I need to go? And he goes like this. And I'm just like, so he unlocks the door for me. I walk out there to see what I need, walk a quarter mile to my truck, grab my bucket, grab all my equipment, right? Forget my Yeti cup, of course. Walk back, and that door's locked. I wait 45 minutes to get through that door, and no one has a key to get to wash a half hour's worth of windows. That's the way it's been.
Wow,
so,
man.
I can say this, you know, it's a very large project, and I do a lot of large projects, but I've done a lot of large projects, the same ones for 15 years. Right. So when you walk into a large project, especially like a hospital where there's 1 million people working, everybody's sick, everybody's walking around like they have to take a shit, they're hunched over.
Right.
It's just depressing to see people.
Right.
And you don't know where you're going. And you know, my guys, I got 2 guys going back tomorrow. They've got a water-fed pole, this big curtain wall, and then I have some stains to remove, and it'll be in the books. But you know, every parking spot there, TJ, clergy, police, fire rescue, reserved. So how do you park a lift that's 30 feet long behind a 4-door truck? You know, and I'm like, I'm in the bus lane. I'm in the clergy parking just to access the job. And they're looking at me like I'm pulling their teeth out without anesthetic, you know?
Right.
And I'm like, there's no other way to do this. And here's the kicker of the job that really frosts my ass. It's a trauma hospital. So they have a helicopter pad on the roof.
Okay.
Per FAA, there can't be anybody on the roof. No water bottles, no ropes, no equipment, no gear when that helicopter comes. Okay? Which means they give us about an 8-minute window of opportunity to get off the roof. The helicopter can't land if there's ropes there, even though they're not going to blow up into the rotors, you know, which means if my guys are on the outs, and listen, there's no beacon light, there's no siren. You have to wait for security to call you on a cell phone, right? Now, I see security walking around with these 2-way radios, and I'm like, can you give us a 2-way radio? That way, when you know the trauma hawk is coming, you give us a heads up.
Right.
I go to the roof, the guys hit the ground, we drop the ropes off, and we're out of there. No, we can't do that. I go, so you're telling me my guy's going to wait for a cell phone to ring, get to the ground, walk all the way across this place, go up to the roof, take the ropes down, and the helicopter's going to hover? What? There's somebody in there that's in trauma, you know?
Yeah. Fuck me, dude.
It's just like nothing is cooperating. But
Jesus.
I'm hoping. I'm not saying this job isn't for me because I want the monthly, but there's only so many hoops you can jump through. And without twisting your ankle and going, is this really worth it? You know?
I went through a similar situation today. A guy was like, we do this condo association. I went live on Facebook and showed everybody it. And I bid the job. When I bid the job, I'm real specific about when I need to use my water-fed pole, because people are so like, it's a fucking magic wand. You know what I mean? They're like, I don't want you using that. And there's a couple of spots where I can't set up a ladder tall enough, because if I do, it'll be in the fucking water. You know what I mean? I can't, safely, I cannot do this. You know what I mean? I have to use a water-fed pole on this. And I explained this to him, and we get there today, and we start going, and I go to these two giant walls of glass. They're huge. And I'm like, they're, like 30, almost, 38, 40 feet in the air is the top. You know what I mean? To get to the one piece of glass that I need to get to and work my way down.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm just going to use, I've got my mini, I've got my extensions. I'm just going to set everything up, knock these out, and then we'll do the ladder work and traditional work the rest of the way. He come out, and he's like, I told you I didn't want you pressure washing. I was like, I'm not pressure washing the windows. It's pure water, and there's like maybe 40 pounds of pressure, if that. And I said, I told you in the bid, I said, the guy that I talked to, because it was one guy last year, then he stepped down as the board of directors on the HOA, and I got a new guy. So I talked through all this shit with this guy. He was like, I don't care. You can use water-fed pool on the whole thing. I'd rather that. We just had the building painted, and I'd rather not ladders be on the building. He goes, I think that toy of yours is pretty damn neat. So I was like, shit, I'm going to go in here and make this money double quick. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Well, this dude's like, you're going to wash all my spider spray off. Yeah. I'm like, what? He's like, that pressure washing, you're gonna pressure wash all of my spider spray off. I'm like, when did you have the spider sprays done? He's like, 3 weeks ago. I was like, it's rained 10 times since then.
Yeah, dude, that shit's long gone.
He's like, what do you mean? I was like, so what you're trying to tell me is that you're afraid I'm going to wash the spider spray off that was sprayed on 3 weeks ago, and it's rained 10 times since then. I said, the first night it rained, it washed it all off. Yeah. I said, it's not a barrier. It's to kill the bugs.
Yeah.
The bugs form on the building, then they spray it to kill them, and then they die, and then you don't have to deal with bugs. It's not a repellent. They're not spraying off on your fucking building. They're spraying bug killer, dude.
Yeah.
Jesus.
You know my experience with HOAs will beat you up until you're bloody and then laugh at you.
Yeah.
And but look, if you made money on it and you know how to finesse them, that's great.
Well,
but I just haven't had the same experience.
There was two ladies in the building. She's like, they come out and they were like, we've had guys doing this since this building was built, and you did the best job we've ever seen. She tried to give us both $50. I wouldn't take it.
Yeah. No.
She's like, no, here, take that. No, I was like, no. I was like, I'm getting paid more than enough for doing this, and you coming out and saying, I said, instead of giving me a $50 tip, go to the president of the HOA and tell him that you were satisfied, and that's I was like, that's why I said that's worth more to me than $150 per guy. I said, just go tell them that you're happy, and that will make me happy, because if he knows that you guys are happy, that means I'll come back next year, and I'll make that money, that $100 back real easy.
Oh yeah.
Well, he texted me about 15 minutes before we got on this podcast. He said he's already set a date for the end of August to have it done again. So, you know what I mean. So,
I worked out.
He was like, well, he goes, I'm sorry about being such a pain in the ass about that. He goes, I didn't even know what the hell that thing was. I probably should have asked you. And I was like, well, if you'd asked me, I would have showed you a video. I said, I would have told you I've got tons of customers with these large jobs that they like that.
Dude, you know what you need to do? Listen, get his name. If he doesn't have Facebook, talk him into Facebook and tag him in a Benjamin Hanks video.
Right? Yeah, that's all you need to know. That's all you need to know. Hey, man, Benjamin Hanks is on the fence, man. He might actually.
Dude, I'm working it. You saw that? I'm working it.
Yeah, man. I want him on so fucking. Did you see his live video of his new Ford Ranger he got? Did you see that?
No, I didn't see that one.
Oh, dude, he was like playing some Tootsie Roll and shit. He's got apparently he's got like a Ghetto Blaster sound system in that thing. The fucking mirrors were shaking on it and shit. He's got 20-inch rims on this fucking Ranger. Yeah. It's super dope. God. I'm happy for the dude. People don't like him, you know what I mean? Because they're like, this dude's bad for the industry. Man, this dude is in Georgia doing his fucking thing. Just let the guy alone. He's not doing nothing, man. He's just a strange bird, man. That's all.
But you know what? Look, he ain't hurting nobody.
No.
It's good entertainment.
Yes, and he's fucking hilarious, man. The dude like is hilarious. Yeah, dude.
I hate to tell you, dude, but this ain't what you think it is.
Yeah. You know? We're just cleaning windows, guys. Come on, man. Come on, guys. It's not that. We're not. None of us went to school for 4 years to learn how to turn a squeegee, guys. Yeah. If I was in Benjamin Hankstown and we were competitors, this dude would most likely be a really good friend of mine. I would meet him one time and be like, this motherfucker ain't got no teeth. He's renting a truck from Menards, and he's fucking cleaning glass. I mean, you got to respect that man's hustle. You know what I mean? All right. Okay. So the DIY lawnmower fucking soft wash system was a little over the top, but
like I said before, he's the only one that figured out how to use a breast pump to move forward.
Dude is great, man. And this is the thing. I've went back, I've been aware of Mr. Squeegee for a while, and he's been around for a minute. The dude can actually fucking clean windows. He's actually a pretty good fucking window cleaner. He just likes to be contrary to everything that everyone else is doing. You're going to spend $24 on a squeegee handle combination. I'm going to spend $5 and make money with it. You know what I mean? That's just who he is. He just wants to be an asshole. You know what I mean? That's all.
But you know what, dude? I get good entertainment out of it. Sometimes I just sit there and watch the video and just laugh, and I'm like, what the fuck am I watching here? But I can't turn it off, you know?
Dude, I like the ones where he's doing the NXS video where he's got the little signs and he's just dropping them. Dude is so out of control, man. I want Benjamin Hanks on the podcast. That has to happen.
You out, Ben. You need to get on.
Yeah, Ben, we're calling you out. We want you on the podcast. All you got to do is download Skype to your phone, find a nice clean spot in the crack house, and fucking get down with getting it down.
He'll probably show up with a Dixie cup and strings.
Yeah,
you don't need
he's so stupid. He's so out of control. That guy is so funny. You know what I want to know? I want to know is he's got himself where does this man find girlfriends at? You know what I mean? Where is he picking up chicks, dude?
Yeah.
I bet you she's just as cool as he is too, dude. I bet you $100 she's just as fucking gnarly, bro.
Dude, the fascinating thing would be if he's just an everyday, ordinary guy playing a fucking awesome
and has a bridge, you know what I mean? So his teeth, he actually has teeth. He just takes them out to do dude. That would be, if that was true, it would be the greatest thing. It would make me like him even more which is, would be hard to do anyways. I would just like him that much more. You know what I mean? Dude, to be
if he showed up. If he showed up wearing a pair of $600 Gucci shoes,
that poor guy. Fuck, they beat that poor boy up.
Well, when you pitch one over the plate,
dude. Listen, man, you cannot do that to window cleaners. You cannot get into a window cleaning forum and post you sitting on your ass in $600 loafers and expect not to get flamed. You're gonna get flamed for that, dude. We're window cleaners, man. Come on, bro. I respect his ambition and all that shit, but there's a point to that shit. It's like, you can only go so far acting that way before you start to turn people off. He's been on the podcast. I mean, he was a decent guy to talk to. I mean, I don't know him personally, but those antics are just like, that shit's next level, dude. Like, look at my $600 loafers. Yeah. What the fuck? Okay. Did you seriously spend $600 on a fucking set of loafers, cuz? Because I need to know. Why do you need $600 shoes?
I don't know, man. I've never been a fashion dynamo. What you see is what I am.
Me neither. Yeah. I'm not whatever. I mean, I like to dress nice if I need to. You know what I mean? I like to have nice things, but I'm not going to get on Outlaw Window Cleaner Network and be like, hey, look at my $600 Nikes. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Shit don't make no sense.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. So we went from one end of the spectrum to the other. You know what? I'm going to bring something up, and maybe we could talk about it the next time, or maybe you plan on talking about it this time. But you said you had some washer knowledge to share with the group. Is that something you're going to share with us next time?
Yeah, absolutely. I've got some stuff here I want to show you. Actually, I'll show you two things. I'll show you two things that work for me.
Okay.
They might not work for you, but they make sense.
I still want to know.
Okay.
I'm interested. And I'm sure all these guys that listen are going to want to know too.
I'm going to show you a couple things. First of all, if you ever see someone making a video of themselves washing windows or talking about washing windows, they bring up the squeegee, right? And no one ever realized, and I've mentioned this before, and I learned this from an old timer, there's almost as much of an art to wetting as there is squeegeeing.
I agree.
But people don't seem to do anything about, this is how I wet a window. Well, it's just as boring as the way you're squeegeeing it anyway,
Right.
But
well, contrary to what you're saying, I actually did explain in my technique video how not like this is how you clean windows, but this is how I do it. I explained why I wet windows the way I wet windows. You know what I'm saying? So, whatever, Mark.
You see guys that are dog-earing their channels and dog-earing their squeegee rubbers, and you got angled ends and plastic ends and clipless and the whole gamut of different things, and we all use what works for us. And
right.
We don't need to get into an equipment bashing, but I'm going to show you a couple things that I do to my tools that make it work pretty well. Let's start with a squeegee. Okay. It's just simple. Can you see this?
Yeah.
This is a 22-inch Sorbo with the plastic ends. That's a Cobra, right?
Yeah.
And the handle is the Unger Ninja. I like that combination right there.
Right.
Okay. It's pretty simple, right? Now, I used to do this with my grass channels.
Okay.
Now, watch this. Tell me when you can see. Can you see that on the bottom?
The holes?
See the holes in there?
Yeah.
See those holes?
Yeah.
Okay. Every 2-inch, there's an 1/8-inch hole. Okay?
All right.
Why? You ever tap your squeegee on the glass and it kind of rings out, but then when you turn it to the side, all the water pours off of it?
Yeah.
When you're squeegeeing a window, water's coming out of the end. It's coming down here. Okay? But the reason it comes off the ends, you ever squeegee and pull out fast and the water goes above the blade sometimes, like in a little mist?
Yeah.
That's because the water can't leave the squeegee fast enough. Okay? So I used to do this with my brass. On a brass, you only want to put a couple holes because it gets very weak. On these wide body type channels, no matter who's making them, they're extruded aluminum. They're tremendously strong, so you're not weakening it by. These are 1/8-inch holes, and I put them every 2 inches.
Okay.
Oh, sorry about that.
You're fine.
Yeah, the phone fell.
Yeah,
okay. Am I in picture?
You could kind of tilt yourself a little bit the other direction there. There you go. And what I'll do is I'll upload this to YouTube in picture. I'll put you up, and then I'll put me in the corner. But go ahead.
I'm gonna hold this up so you can see the holes in it. But it's pretty simple. You on the Sorbos, you got to drill them from the top. So you take the rubber out. I put it in a vise. I mark it every 2 inches, and I use an 1/8-inch drill bit.
Okay.
And it will take a little bit of the groove out of there, but that doesn't matter. Okay. Right. Go all the way through, and then take a file and just clean up the ends, the holes, so they're not burred at all. Now, when you use this,
so do you go through the crack where the rubber goes through, or do you drill?
Yes.
Okay, so you drill through.
No. You can't do it from the bottom because you'll never get it straight.
So you got to go through where the rubber sits. You got to stick your drill bit in there.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
Well.
Now, when you work with it, you're going to see as you're pulling. You pull to the side just like I do, but you will see the water coming out of that squeegee away from the glass, okay? And you'll get a lot less water slung up onto the frames that's going to bleed back, okay?
Dude,
because
what the fuck, man?
You like?
Dude, yeah. Yes.
Now what?
I'm about to go outside. I'm about to go outside. Yeah, I'm about to go outside and drill my fucking 22 right now.
Dude, I'm telling you.
Do you like those plastic ends on there? I use the normal ones. Do you like that? I notice you like to let your rubber sit out well past the end too.
Well, it's a little uneven right now, but yeah, I usually give it about an eighth an inch. You know,
really?
I
usually go right on. I'm like a 60. Maybe I'm gonna try to bump mine out a little bit because you are a sage. So maybe you got fucking holes drilled in your fucking squeegee channel. This guy's fucking too smart, man.
Here's the thing, though. Commercial frames are generally going to be a little different than residential frames.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Of course.
So, I like the plastic ends you can lay into those frames. I like the way it guides me up into the upper left corner and then comes straight across, whether you're on a pole or not.
Right.
But if you take an old channel. Now, if you do it with the brass, you only want to put 1 or 2 holes, maybe 3-4 inches apart. You know, I don't do it on cut-ups, but I'm telling you, you'll see these squeegees drain and you get a lot less. You know that drag line that comes across, and sometimes there's not even a little rubber titty. Yeah. That's because water's coming out of the channel. When you turn the squeegee this way, the water's running out of the channel. Why not have the water drain away from the glass towards you? Makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, I've been doing that for years, and it works well.
This fucking guy.
Now, here's another trick I want to show you.
Now you know those are going to start coming standard like that, right?
That's fine. No, you know what? We'll have guys on the window cleaning page using a fucking 1-inch hole saw.
Yeah. Look what I did, dude.
Yeah. Like 5-inch holes, man.
Yeah, bro.
This fucking thing is cheese.
Yeah. Makes it lighter.
Okay.
Dude, that's super good, Mark. That was like the best tip ever. I thought you were going to be... I thought I was about to see something I've seen before. I never even... But now after you explain it, and I'm sitting here thinking in my head, I'm like, what is he saying? You know what I mean? And I'm starting to think it. I'm going through what I was doing this morning. I'm like, you know what? He's fucking right. You're right about that.
Works. Look, I wouldn't be doing it if it didn't work. It's not for aesthetics.
Right, yeah.
You know?
It doesn't look cool.
I have a lot better things to do than drill fucking holes in my shit, you know? Okay, so then if you remember... years ago, when you bought a washer cover, right? Mm-hmm. Well, this might be before your time. They didn't used to have Velcro. They had snaps on them,
right?
If you remember.
Yeah.
Okay? I always liked the snaps, but the snaps rushed out. Yeah. Then they came out with the Velcro, and the Velcro gets weak.
Yeah.
You know? So, and then they came out with this. Can you see this? This is a Unger T-bar, and it's got these water channels in it, which really don't work because as soon as you pick it up, they all drain out. Right. And these things bend. It's not even straight right out of the box. I mean, this is brand new.
Yeah, it's crooked right out of the box. Yeah.
It's Unger. I like the aluminum T-bars. Okay.
So do I.
So I started thinking about my strip washer, and I once had after I did this, I had one of my guys say to me, "You just cleaned that whole McDonald's, which was maybe 10 windows on the outside, 10 windows on the inside, plus the drive-through, with one, and you didn't even dip the wand." And I said, "Yeah." And they said, "You have the same wand I do. How come I'm running out of water and walking back to the bucket, Mm-hmm. And I said, "Well, I alter my shit." Okay. So number one, when you get that new washer cover, you put it on and you stretch it to fit on there, and then you put the Velcro.
Yeah.
Within a week, it's fucking sloppy and moving around.
Yes.
Refixing the Velcro, and I just don't like sloppy tools. I like my shit to be tight.
Right.
So I take my strip washer, and let me see if I can make you see this. See that little baby zip tie there?
Yeah.
And there's a baby zip tie there. And that's the open side, right? Not on the closed. This is closed side. Here's the open side.
Right.
Right here is the Velcro.
Yeah.
Okay. So this, I just take my pocket knife, and I make a little 1/8-inch incision in each side. Stick the zip tie through it, and then pull it tight. And this is rock solid. It does not move. Look.
Right. Okay. So how do you get it off to wash it?
Oh, you just take Here, hang on a second.
How do you wash your T-bars? Do you take
Well,
them off and redo that each time?
Yeah, you just take a pair of snips.
And just
right?
snip them off. Yeah.
And you just cut it. The worst part is finding the hole again. But
Right.
you know, you feel around from the inside. Okay, there's the zip tie.
Yeah.
That's one of the bigger zip ties, you know, the little 6-inch ones. But this
Yeah.
one down here is the one I prefer. It's the little teeny tiny one. It just, you know, the little. Let me show you one like this. See
Okay.
that little big zip?
Yeah.
And I suggest when you pull it tight and you cut it, take a razor blade and cut the loop off flush, because if not, it's sharp. And if you wring your hands out, you'll scratch yourself.
Okay.
Okay. But let's get to some more meat and potatoes, right?
Right.
So
Yeah. I'm super
I'm gonna
curious.
take off. Okay. Now, you ever have a drop a washer, or you wear the ends out and then it splits open?
Yeah.
That's also because it's moving around on the T-bar and it gets slammed.
Right.
To take a little electric tape and just go over the end. That makes a little bit of a cushion, maybe 3 or 4 wraps. It also makes a good seal on the plastic end. Okay. Reason for that, because if you look here, and here, here, and here, there should be a 4th. There it is, right there.
Okay.
There's 4 holes in this. Okay, but they're facing the top of the mop, right?
Right.
Not on the bottom, because they would pour right through the bottom of the mop.
Right.
You put this in your bucket, especially those rectangular buckets that you guys use where the mop can lay flat. You understand, where it's completely submerged?
Yes.
The channel is going to fill up with water. Okay. But unlike this, it's not going to just pour out. That thing, it's just going to dump out of that.
It's going to weep out.
It's going to weep out through the cover only when it's turned upside down, you know, when it's turned this way. Okay.
What in the fuck, Mark?
Right?
Dude, that's super smart. Right? Dude, that's really fucking smart, dude. So yeah, but now your T-bar's even heavier.
Yeah, no, it does add a little bit of weight to it. That's true. But
or
look,
you could just stop being a vagina.
Would you rather lift something that weighs a few ounces more, or walk back to your truck? Now,
I don't like walking. I don't know if you guys can tell or not by the size of me, but I don't like to walk a whole bunch.
Look, if you have to walk back to the bucket 20 times a day, you know, you're getting done a half hour earlier if you're not walking back to the truck.
Well, dude, that's the whole washer, the two, you know, I wonder if it'll work on my Ninja T-bars.
As long as they're aluminum and then put the tape on the ends just to cushion it. That'll stop a lot of the rip through. Okay.
And it'll help it hold water.
Look, it weighs a little more. If you put it in a full bucket of water and you go like this with it, you'll feel it moving around in there. But if you only fill the holes in the top, the only time that water's coming out is when it's like this. It'll come out the bottom holes. You turn it upside down, it'll re-wet the mop. You understand?
Yes, I mean, I do understand. It's like fucking it's like the smartest fucking, like, most obvious thing in the world. You know what I mean? Dude, that's, you know, you just, dude, I'm not for nothing. I mean, I know you don't give a shit, but you just gave away like $1 million idea. You know what I mean? All these fucking yums are going to come out with the new Reservoir T-bar.
Little eyelets sewn in them for zip ties.
Yeah.
Dude, it started, though. The zip tie thing was because I was done with my washer cover sliding around.
Yeah,
you know?
I don't like that either.
Especially if you do like you do, TJ, where you go up on an angle and go across, and the mop
always
quit.
Well, that's why I always lead with the open end. The open ends are the closed ends, so it doesn't fucking slide up to the top. You know, because sometimes if you go to the open end up into the corner, the T-bar will pop out the fucking open end. You know, that's shit's annoying.
It's like a dog dick shows up.
Well, I look at, you know, I think maybe I'm like other guys. It's like I buy something and I'm like, man, do I want to poke holes in this? And you know what I mean? But the washer, dude, I have to buy washers every fucking year, no matter what. You know what I mean? I gotta buy new washers. So
let me show you something real quick. Where I make the hole, I'm taking it back off because I was getting ready to zip tie it again.
Mm-hmm.
I put it right through the stitching. Can you see that stitching?
Yeah.
Where it's really thick?
Yeah.
Dude, I've never had one tear through. Never.
Never. And
Okay?
you use Unger strip washers?
I like these green microfiber ones.
What is that? Is that an Unger?
It's Unger's version of the microfiber.
Okay.
I love these. My guys were using those monsoons.
I've been using the Ninja monsoons lately.
Yeah,
The black and white ones.
So much water. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like I said, like you said, when you're ready to put it in the laundry, okay,
mm-hmm.
you cut the zip ties, you throw it in the wash, you open it up, you feel around for the holes in it. If not, make another 2 sets of holes. I use my pocket knife, and then I'll usually put a screwdriver through it, and that'll leave an opening.
Mm-hmm.
You put the zip tie, and when you put it at the edge of the stitching on both sides so that it pulls tight around the T.
Right.
Okay. You're going to have that mop that when you put it on the glass, you got dry spots. You know what I'm saying? That's something worse than that. I hate that shit.
Dude, dude, you will get a fucking tongue lashing from me if I like to do like on large. I got a couple of McDonald's that I do and a couple of other restaurants where it's like a shitload of glass.
Yep.
And it's just quicker. For me, it feels like, anyways, to have a washer guy going ahead of the squeegee guy. You know what I'm saying? And we'll do a whole side of windows. And once I get about halfway through and he's done wetting, he'll come back and touch up anything that needs to be dried off, wipe the ledge down, you know, make everything look presentable. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And if you don't hit the fucking corner, you don't get everything wet, I'm gonna all you gotta do is get the fucking window wet. That's anybody that's ever worked for me knows, they've heard that before. Dude, all you gotta do is get the fucking window wet. Do you want to be the guy that can't get the fucking window wet? I'm doing the hard work. You can't get water all over the window. You miss the corner every fucking time. You know what I mean? What the fuck?
Exactly.
But I tell you what, that washer deal that you just did right there, I work a lot by myself. Maybe, 8 months out of the year, I primarily work alone. That little trick right there will make me even faster than I already am, because I'm not making trips. Dude, that's ingenious as fuck, Mark.
Dude, and it works. Look, I'm going to show you. I'm just getting ready to put the first zip tie back in this.
Uh-huh.
All right. So I put the little zip tie through. All right. I got to twist it. Hang on. It's backwards. They only work one way.
Right.
And then what I'll do is, man, my eyes aren't what they used to be, huh?
Yeah.
Hang on. Let me get it threaded, and then I'm going to show you.
Probably, guys, while Mark's doing that, you could probably also clip that end off with a pair of fingernail clippers and make it nice and flush.
Yeah. Well, see, because I came from the marine industry working on boats, and everything gets zip tied, and you reach down into an engine hull, in the hull of the boat, and someone cut a zip tie on a diagonal, you will open your arm up.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So
I've used a few zip ties in my life.
Zip tie. Watch. Pull it tight.
You're off the camera. You moved your phone again. There you go.
All right.
Bear with it. Mark is like 75 years old. He's new to technology.
Yeah. I'm 80 years old.
He stole his son's Xbox headset to do this.
Yeah. Right.
Dude, I'm doing that, man, because I'm with you on. Right.
Cut it flush. Okay. Now, when you run your hands on it to wring it out, it's not sharp. It's not going to catch you. It's not going to cut you. You can't even see it. It's in there.
Yeah.
You can't see it. But this washer is not going to move on this T-bar.
Yeah, it's not going to be sliding back and forth. Dude, Mark. Fuck. Man. Dude, you know what? This is the last episode you guys are getting for free. From now on, you're paying us $5 to watch this shit. A piece.
Look,
a piece.
I've said this to guys that have either I've taught to wash windows, or whether they've worked for me, or my buddy Gary says, I'm going to spend a day with you because you're so much more efficient than me. And I'd say, and I've mentioned this before, I'll show you 5 things, right, that each one of them really doesn't mean anything on its own, but when you put all 5 together, you're done a half hour earlier. You're done 45 minutes, or you're just that much more work, okay? It fits together because for me, efficiency is everything. In Florida, you got to be on it. You got to be like, I put the gunslinger video up and everybody's like, look at that guy's dropping water all over the floor. He's in the fucking bushes, dude.
Right.
He's in the bushes.
Right.
You think he's going to walk inside that Audi dealer where they're selling $70,000+ cars and do that on their market?
And do that the same fucking way? No.
Come on. Yeah, come on.
Listen, man, listen, there's fellers on the fucking internet that they have nothing better to do. Listen, dude, if you spent less time fucking pecking at your fucking keyboard and more time watching, you'd probably be making more fucking money.
Yeah.
I've had the same thing. I've had guys private message me. They're like, you're pretty sloppy with that water. I'm like, dude, I don't do that shit. I don't clean windows in a commercial setting the same way that I do in a residential setting, and vice versa.
Well,
exactly. You're probably not going to see very many residential window cleaning videos from me unless it's from a customer I know doesn't mind me doing it, because just out of respect. You know what I'm saying? The commercial stuff, I guess I could get myself hemmed up if some guy is local watching and wants to steal my shit. I mean, I would say good luck with that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a reason why they call me T Squeegee. I'm pretty decent at what I do. You know what I mean? And my customers, the reason why I have the customers I have is because of the way I do things, and B, me. I feel like me. I'm the missing link in that equation. You know what I mean? That's, I develop relationships with my clients. You know what I mean? They got the, like you said, you're like, you walked in and that guy's like, man, you realize how long you've been cleaning my windows? And they're like, yeah, man, I had a newborn son and I was getting ready to graduate high school. That's the same way. I mean, he knows, you know what I mean? They know you. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
That's the main thing, is to develop.
Yeah.
You don't want to, I mean, you got to keep it professional, you know what I mean? Of course, but there's nothing wrong with getting to know who you're working for. Then they get to see you as a person and not just an entity that comes into their establishment and cleans their windows. They can actually put a face to the, look at this, guys.
Yep.
This dude, these are deep fucking cuts. Mark Tanner has just given away $2 million ideas in one podcast.
Yep. Take the razor knife, cut it off.
Whatever you do, just don't cut your whole face off, guys.
Yeah, no. And it's nice and flush. That one I put a big zip tie so you could see it.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah, dude, that's fucking smart, man.
It doesn't hurt nothing.
That right there, I mean, guys, there's probably plenty of guys who are like, oh, I do that. But the holes, first of all, the holes in the fucking top, the back part of a squeegee to get the water to weep out towards you instead of onto the glass is fucking smart as shit. That's super ingenious.
Yeah.
But the holes in the T-bar, on the bottom of the T-bar, that is smart as fuck.
You gotta put them at...
I'm an efficiency guy, you know what I mean? Again, I said, I've said it 1,000 times, I work by myself, but the less steps you can make and the more time you're cleaning the glass, the better.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a hole here, then a hole here, and a hole here, and a hole there. That's just the configuration I use. You could put them anywhere along the top. Right. I just found that 4 holes, when it's draining out this one, it's breathing through this one.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
And it seems to work good. Again, if you're going to do an 18-inch, I would still put 4 holes in it on a squeegee. My 18-inch, every one of them has holes every 2 inches, which also made me realize, here's something you may never thought of. Did you know that a 22-inch squeegee is 21.5 inches? It's not 22. And an 18
is 17.
Because when I measured it, I'm like, but the rubbers are all made short to fit, but they're all the same. Tory, Unger, I don't know if the Mormon ones are true to size, but why would you call it a 22 and sell me 21.5? I don't know.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I mean, they could set the machines up to cut the rubber wherever they want, I would assume. Because at one point that rubber's on a big roll and the machine's just cutting it wherever the computer tells it to cut it.
Right.
But I realized that when I measure this channel I've been using for a couple of years. And here's another thing, every now and again, when you pull the rubber out, take a pipe cleaner or something along those lines and clean those holes out, because they'll get gummed up with soap.
Of course, yeah.
I mean, not often.
I've got something to admit here. I got away from using this particular product. I don't know, a couple years ago, and I've just now, over the 2 years ago. So it's been about 4 years actually. Geez, man, time flies. It's been about 4 years since I got away from this product, and then I picked all these McDonald's up, and then I actually picked up. I had one chain of restaurants. I picked up some more of those, the Square Hamburger place, and I've been doing a lot more restaurant work than I was before, and you on the podcast, you were like, you need to add ammonia to your water and chase those fingerprints away. TJ, you know what I'm talking about, right? And I'm like,
yep.
Yeah. And I wasn't.
Yep.
I stopped buying it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I went out and I think the following morning, and I bought a bottle of ammonia. And I put a half a cup of ammonia in my water and then went and did this McDonald's. And I was done 15 minutes quicker than I normally am. And I'm like, this motherfucker. But the only thing is, there's a caveat to that. If you don't use
back. Yeah.
If you don't use ammonia, you can't fuck up. Because if your technique ain't solid, you're gonna have frost marks everywhere. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, too, if you go to Ace Hardware, as I mentioned before, they're the only one I know of, and I'm sure there's others out there, but everybody should have an Ace Hardware in their town.
Yeah.
They sell gallons of, I think it's 11% ammonia. What you buy at the grocery store is usually 2 to 3%.
Yes.
So it's like $6 or $8 for a gallon, and I constantly clean my water out doing commercial work.
Yes.
Or building work. Your water gets nasty quick.
Right.
I put a splash, and I don't know how much a splash is. It's a few ounces. And my guys don't like it, but they go back and have to scrub handprints, and the handprints melt away. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, they do. They do.
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah.
I actually got my ammonia from Home Depot. I walked in and got some there. That was a little stronger than what they were selling at Myers.
Yeah. Well, any of them. You want a clear ammonia. You don't want one that's lemon scented. You don't want one with soap in it. Just get pure ammonia.
Mm-hmm.
And
the fucking shit works, man. You gotta kind of be gotta be mindful of for films like window films. Some window films you fucking tear up with ammonia.
Unless it was just put on. Yeah, it's bullshit. My buddy in the tint industry owns Florida Window and Tint, and I've asked him about it 100 times, and he goes, they tell you that. He goes, if you left ammonia on there, it would start to shrink the film. He goes, you're putting it on, and within a minute or two, you're taking it off. I've never bubble tinted in all the time I've been washing windows, so I'm not telling everybody to do it, but it's not something that's going to be an issue. Maybe if the tint was put on an hour earlier, you don't even want to touch it anyway.
Right.
But I've never had a tint issue, and tint is becoming almost on commercial storefronts and stuff because, over time people put tape on it or get scratched up. Most of the time now,
a thing of the past.
Yes, it's becoming a thing of the
past.
A
lot of glass now you can get fucking tinted. You don't have to dick with that
in the factory.
Yeah,
it's going to have a coating on it. So again, I've never had an issue with ammonia eating anything up except for it will dry your hands out if you use too much of it. But I got to tell you, the restaurant that I've been doing for 17 years, they have tables up against the glass. Literally, the back of the table is the window.
Yeah.
So you got to pull the tables out, and then, God forbid, if they ever serve breakfast and that syrup shit or a chicken wing joint, and someone touches the glass with chicken wing grease. Yeah.
I have to deal with play areas. I have two play areas, and one of my restaurants is set up. I've done videos. I mean, been on my YouTube channel where the booths are right next to the fucking windows. The kids go, where do you think? Right next to the glass, and then they just fucking fingerprint.
Yeah, I know. I know.
And that ammonia cuts it, man. It smacks it right off of there.
Look,
and I feel like, dude, is it just me or do the windows look shinier?
They do. I think
do they look shinier? Because they look sure as fuck look shinier.
Yeah. Well, what it is you're not leaving anything on there.
Right.
That like a shadow of a handprint, it's gone. There's nothing.
Right.
But here's the thing, and I mentioned this before, and I see these guys. You shouldn't use dish soap. You're a professional. And then they start the soap war again, and E-Cover and Joy. And
Henry Dreest from Florida. He's like, who the fuck uses palm olive? And I'm like, me, motherfucker.
Yeah.
I mean, I made 6 figures the last fucking 4 years with palm olive. You better leave that green soap alone, motherfucker. He just busted my balls, though.
I told you, I went to the trade show. I got 2 samples of Glass Gleam, and I'm not here to bash them. If it works for you, hey, great. It doesn't work on the windows that I clean, and I'll tell you why. I clean my tools out. It says 1 ounce for 5 gallons, whatever it is. 2 ounces for 5 gallons. Okay, that's half this little sample bottle. I put in 3 gallons of water, 2 ounces of this stuff, shake it around. Yeah, it doesn't make bubbles. Yeah, it's good in the sun. It doesn't dry out so fast. But when you wash windows that have handprints,
that shit ain't working, dude.
The handprints are still there.
That shit ain't working, dude.
Right?
I was actually, for a short time, I was experimenting with that EBC, that degreaser. I was putting a little bit of that in my water. I mean, I didn't even.
They'll eat you up.
Yeah, the ammonia works better.
Yeah. I mean, before I got back
I like that shit on concrete, though. That EBC on concrete, that shit ain't no joke on concrete. That shit's legit.
No,
and it's safe. You ain't got to worry about it fucking eating your goddamn hands off.
Yeah. We all have hand issues, and like one of my guys, Gary, he loves the palm olive because it doesn't dry his hands out.
Yeah.
I'll switch back and forth. Sometimes I'll buy Joy. Sometimes I'll buy Dawn. And it's usually between the two of them. I've tried, palm olive has a new one out called Ultra. And you just use barely any of it. It's
and
good.
You don't,
look.
Yeah. I buy the big. Yeah, whatever. Whatever. I'm not trying to hear that shit. Yeah. Stop it. It's not gonna. It'll leave a film if you leave it on the fucking glass. If you squeegee properly, it won't be there anymore, dude.
Hey guys, guess what? Okay, if you're leaving a film that you can't see and dirt is attracted to that film, and you're in the maintenance business, they're going to call you back.
Yeah.
Oh, that's terrible.
Oh, these guys. I have there's a guy here in town that he cleans windows, and he's like, so-and-so window cleaning, we now use Rain-X. So he uses Rain-X on everything, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and guess what? He likes to leave swirls everywhere.
Yeah, swirly douche. Go ahead.
The Coca-Cola recipe is guarded under lock and key, but the Rain-X isn't. Rain-X is silicone oil and alcohol, okay? And when you wipe it on the window, you smell the alcohol, right? And then a little bit of the film from the Rain-X, from the alcohol evaporates, it leaves a little micro thin film layer of silicone oil, makes the water sheet off. Right. However, I've always said this because I love it. If you're promoting your business, whether you're cleaning shower stalls or storefront windows or residential, and you tell somebody you're using Rain-X and they believe that it's going to work, they're an asshole just like you. Because guess what, guys? Rain-X is made to go on a windshield at 50 miles an hour. So unless you can drive that fucking restaurant 50 miles
there's no difference, sir. I tried to explain that to this lady, and she's like, what do you mean? I was like, listen. She's like, you don't put Rain-X or nothing in your water and make the water sheet off? And I'm like, no. She's like, why? I was like, do you have a steering wheel and a motor in your house? And she's like, well, no, I don't. And I was like, well, how's the water going to run off? And she just looked at me. She goes, you're a little smart ass, ain't you? I was like, well, yeah.
If you're looking for some snake oil bullshit to peddle to someone and you can get them to pay you for it, hey,
more power to you.
I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but I think you're full of shit.
Right.
You know?
More power to you.
I mean, look, we can get into a whole nother conversation about glass coatings, and I'm working directly with Nanovations.
Right.
Their product came from Australia.
I need some of that shit.
It was very expensive to get over here. Now they're actually local to me, and I'm working directly with them. And I will say this, it's the only window treatment that I have used that has stood up for now 4 months on fountain glass that gets sprayed with water.
Mm-hmm. But what you're
Uh,
saying is you're not saying it keeps the glass clean longer. It keeps the stains away longer.
It keeps the stains from attacking the glass, okay?
Right.
Meaning this, when I get to that fountain every 15 days, it's got the white calcium deposits on it.
Right.
In the past, I would have to take my polisher out, and I would mix up some polish, and I would remove the stains. I'd knock them down with a scraper and then polish them out.
Mm-hmm.
The Nanovations treatment, I take a white pad, okay, and I give it a little scour and soap and squeegee, and it looks as good as when I did it.
Get the fuck out of here, man.
Yeah,
I need some of that.
I'll send you, TJ.
I've got this job coming up. Actually, Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. It's a quarterly job, and they have some black lobby glass.
Yep.
It's only it's like 8 panels, and then it's 8 panels of glass, and then it's broken up in the center with like some short rectangles and then some squares underneath, and the sprinklers hit it directly. And I've got hard water fucking stains every 2 times I'm there. I got a script. They call me back. They're like, the white spots are back, and I'm like, well, you could easily remedy the situation if you just change the fucking sprinkler heads.
Yeah,
and they won't.
Here's the thing.
They'd rather pay me to take it off, but it's a pain in the ass, and it's gonna get to the point where the more I have to dick with it, the more chance I have of fucking something up.
Well, eventually, it's just not going to come off anymore until you get aggressive.
Exactly.
But here's the thing, with the Nanovations product, and I'm 90% sure on this one. If the glass is brand new, meaning if TJ, someone calls you and says, I just had a shower enclosure put in, can you do anything with it? If the glass is brand new, they'll give you a 5-year warranty on that coating, and no one else will.
Get out of here.
If it's existing structure, meaning like what you're talking about, they'll give you 3 years on it.
No
okay.
shit.
Now, here's the issue, TJ. You need to be able to get that glass as perfect as you can before you apply it, because you obviously don't want to seal over something that now you're going to have trouble getting off.
Right.
You understand? But yes. I did a section of glass that gets hit with sprinklers, and 2 windows in a row. One gets sprinklers, the other one gets sprinklers. I did the lower half of the glass, and you can literally take and go by there after the sprinklers are on, and where the coating is, there's no water on the glass. And where the coating isn't, there's water droplets already building up. You take a garden hose to it and stand there and hold it on there and just watch the water sheet off and go away.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah. Yeah,
that's
now,
awesome.
It's the only one I'm standing behind because I've used it a lot, and
Are they still in the testing phases with this, or is this something that they're trying to push as like a...
No, they're pushing it.
Are they pushing it now?
People like myself, they're probably going to try to get... They have a windshield kit that been through like 300,000 wiper cycles, and it's still working. Okay, I put it on my truck. You don't need the wipers anymore. Okay, if you're moving at least 10 miles an hour, it's like Rain-X on steroids. But Rain-X is as good as a month. 2 weeks, 3 weeks till the sun kills it or the wipers take it off. This coating has a hardness rating, which means it's a 2-step process. You use their cleaner. You remove whatever stains are there if there's any, and you use their cleaner, and then you apply it. And the one thing I will say, you can leave some swirls if you do it in the sun. You want to be able to get it on, get it off, and it's much easier than Rain-X as far as the application, because Rain-X you got to sit there and buff it and try to get that haze to go away, and this stuff doesn't leave that. But my experience is it's much easier applied in the shade than it is in the sun. There's less buffing with a microfiber, and it's an amazing product. And I've tried Enduro Shield, I've tried the 5-star barrier, I've tried pretty much every one of them out there. And I told you we put it on an office building, and made a grid with a Sharpie pen and labeled each one and applied them according to the way the bottle said to, and it's the only one that went over within 3 months. All of them failed except for the Nanovations, and the only issue was because Nanovations at the time was out of Australia. It was so expensive to get it over here. Would have been about $20,000 to do this building, and now that they're local, the stuff is half the price because you can pick it up, or I can pick it up literally, but you can order it stateside.
Right.
And it's the identical product.
Right. It just without all the extra. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, they're direct competition with Enduro Shield, which is in the Home Depots. Enduro Shield is a decent product. It doesn't have the lifespan to it. It's a very similar application process, but again, you know, it's not something that you just hand out and put on a window so you don't have to clean it as often. Again, that goes back to you're getting paid to do maintenance, you know, but it goes into areas that you're a shower enclosure or a fountain glass or a building like you're talking about. And you know what, TJ? It's cheap enough where you don't want to hear them pissing and moaning about the stains and have to go out there on a trip to take the stains off, even though you might be getting paid for it. Let's make it right to where, yeah, the stains are there, but I'm just going to scrub it a little bit and it's gone. You don't have to get aggressive with blades and powders and serums and oven cleaner, whatever the fuck everybody sprays on glass nowadays, you know. Right. So not an infomercial for them. I only would show you something that I stand behind, and thus far I haven't seen a product that yields the same results.
That's cool as shit, man.
Yeah, man.
This has been the you're about to learn all the cool shit podcast.
Well, look, like I said, if it helps somebody in some way, you know, then so be it. Enjoy it. You know.
This is week number 2 with your gunslinger. How you liking it so far?
Absolutely. I used it in the lift.
Yeah, see that you like to put it in the basket there.
Yeah, I put it in the basket. Because what I do is on my lift, I have a big carabiner, and I'll hang the bucket on the outside of the lift. And I was washing for a few hours, and I said, you know what? Because when you wear a harness, then you're going to put a belt over that. I mean, it kind of becomes cumbersome, you know. But I'm like, you know what? I'm going to put my gunslinger on and see how it works in the lift. You know, my lift basket is 2 people are tight in it. It's not a big drivable lift. So I'm like, I'm wondering, and you know, because I have to operate it facing one way, and then I turn around to watch windows, and I had to position the gunslinger in a specific way so it wasn't catching on the controls of the lift, you know. Right. But once I got it situated, dude, and that hospital I have to use 2 mops and 2 squeegees in most areas because it'll have a big window and then a skinny one next to it.
Right.
And even though you can use, you know, use a larger squeegee on a long, tall window, okay, it's easier to cut that window down with a 8-inch squeegee than it is a 22.
Right.
So I found that, yeah, I absolutely.
That's cool, man. That makes me feel. That makes me feel good that my assessment of the tool. Now that there's other guys that are getting it, like you, you're pretty experienced window cleaner, and don't really wear a bucket on a belt. So your recommendation is gleaming, and then now you're seeing all these other guys getting this bucket on a belt. I know there's been a couple of quality control issues. Perry's had a couple of where the tip jar seems to bend. They, you know, on a few units that they've sent out, they screwed up the stitching there a little bit, and it's caused a leak. But the cool thing about it is fucking Perry replaces them. I mean, he sends you a FedEx sticker. They send it to Richie to find out the problem, so Richie can correct it for them, and then they can move forward in making them so it doesn't happen again. And then you're getting another gunslinger shipped to you right away. You know what I mean? How fucking cool is that?
I'll be honest with you. I bought it because the way you promoted it to me, and not any other reason. I said, you know what, this guy doesn't stop with this fucking thing. I gotta try it, and I want to support. And dude, I've already, my buddy Gary, he's buying one. He's not a bucket on a belt guy. I showed him pictures of it, and then he showed up at my job, and I'm like, here. And I was gonna give him the other one I got, and I'm like, nah, I'm a selfish dick. Go buy your own fucking. Right.
Right now I got 2. Fuck you.
I told him, take this one with you, and if you like it, I'll show you how to get one. and I haven't heard back from him yet, but it was only a day ago. And I got to say, I haven't found anything I don't like about it. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, it was an acquired, getting used to it being there for me was the biggest thing. And because I put my mop usually back in the bucket,
Right.
you know, I reached for the bucket, not realizing the mop was next to me.
Right.
So because that's the way I've been doing it.
Yeah.
But to have it in the lift and to reach down and don't even look and grab that 8-inch squeegee or grab that 22-inch squeegee or mop, and I'm like, and I had a scraper down on the front side of it.
Well, you know,
on the
some guys don't like that loop in the front. You know, the loop on the front. Well, I mean, some guys don't like it, you know, and you know, guys, you don't have to order your gunslinger with that loop. You can get it without it. You don't have to have that loop on there. You can get it without it. There's two different models. There's the one with the loop and the one without the front loop on the tip jar. I like it just for extra storage, so I streamlined my whole shit, because I used to have, you know, like my bucket on a belt, and then I would have my scraper holder, and now it's just all one deal. Just boom.
Well, you know what? The one thing I thought of that might be pretty cool. You probably never. I don't know if you've ever seen this, but I used to walk around with a single edge razor above my ear. Okay. When I washed, the old guy I worked with, he used to do that, and you'd go somewhere and someone go, you got a razor blade in your ear, right? I'm like, yeah, I know it's there. You know, because like when you're doing storefronts, you got that little piece of tape on the door. You don't always want to reach down and grab a 6-inch scraper. So I'm like, you know, it'd be cool to sew a small magnet somewhere on the gunslinger that you could just put that razor blade and stick it to the side of the gunslinger. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because my buddy Gary, he wears this wristband that has a magnet in it, and he keeps a single edge razor there. And to me, it looks too much like a Power Ranger thing, so I
refuse to do it.
But I'm like, man, if I put a magnet inside, you know, the inner section of this gunslinger, and then I could just always have a razor where it's laying flat, and it's a rare earth magnet that holds pretty good. That's something I'd like to see with it, or even a little flap, you know, stitched into it, where you could just maybe 1.5 inches wide and put a 1-inch razor in there. I mean, I don't know if you guys ever use 1-inch razors.
I do. I have a 1-inch razor, but it's in a fucking deal.
Oh, and that plastic thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always open when it's like that, though, you know?
Yeah.
But it was funny because...
As opposed to just a fucking razor stuck behind your ear, are we splitting fucking hairs here or what?
Yeah.
Well, it's always open. Well, yours is behind your fucking ear, bro.
Dude, I never cut myself, I always know when it's there.
Right,
you know?
yeah, true.
It's just like when I worked with John, and I used to keep an open 6-inch scraper in my bucket, and the boss Rick goes, you know, you got an open scraper in your bucket? And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, that's pretty irresponsible. I go, no, keep your fucking hands out of my bucket, asshole.
Yeah. Dude, I am like ultra paranoid. Like with my sister's boyfriend, he's been working with me. I've been giving him the scraper and shit. And I'm like ultra paranoid giving him the scraper. But I can't, you know, I've got to show him how to do things right, or I'm going to be going back and fucking fixing shit all the time. So I got to show him. So I showed him how, you know, you make one pass on the razor, you don't pull it back and leave it lay on the glass, and, you know, all of those things. And I said, you know, take your fucking earbuds out. If you're going to fucking scrape a piece of glass, take your earbuds out so you can hear it, because it's got to sound good.
Yep.
It can't be all fucking if it's all stop it or I'm gonna fucking murder you.
Yeah. You know, my guys all have scrapers, but they're deathly afraid of what happens when they fuck up glass, and we fix fucked up glass, so I don't want to do it for free. My guys are very reluctant with the razor blade, and I don't blame them. And that's another thing. A 1-inch razor is not gonna yield the same result of taking off defects in the glass, because you can't get the leverage, and you're not busting up. You know, that 6-inch. I saw a guy had one of those Unger 4-inch scrapers that are on an angle, and they're metal with the green handle. It was in one of the posts, and I'm like, that is a glass wrecker if I've ever seen it, man. I mean, first of all, those things usually get so warped, or they're never straight from the factory, and you put the blade in and use the screwdriver to tighten them down, and then you look at it this way and the razor's like this. I'm like, that is,
yeah.
And same thing with your Triumph scraper, guys. If you're having trouble sliding the plastic piece in that holds the blade, and it's got a bow to it for whatever reason, get rid of it.
Yeah.
If it's only scraping in the middle and not on the ends, or vice versa,
right,
get rid of it.
Yeah,
get rid of it. Throw it away.
A Triumph scraper usually lasts. I usually buy 2 or 3 new Triumph scrapers every season.
Yeah.
I throw them in the fucking shit can, because I know you can buy replacements for this and that, but it's a fucking plastic scraper. Recycle that bitch. The only one that's lasted me any kind of time is that Unger Ninja one with the adjustable head, where you can change it to to use it on a pole.
I have that one, and it started to get, again, I'm really particular about tools, and after I had that for about 6 months, it started to wobble, and you have that, it started to wear, and it bugs me. That's why, like I said,
I don't use mine. I don't use mine enough to, because I'm still a Triumph guy, because I hate fucking pulling that cover off and then putting it back on, and pulling it off and putting it back on.
Yep.
So when I'm using a scraper, it's usually a Triumph, so it's got the retractable guard on it. You know what I mean? The Z40. Oh, yeah. That's my. Yeah,
those things always get. I always never. Once you get a piece of tape stuck down in there,
that's fucking it. That's fucking it, man. That's it. You gotta get the Inspector Gadget case out and fucking clean it out and all that. Like I said, that's why I buy 2 or 3 new ones every year.
A fucking piece of Scotch tape is fucking my day up right now.
Right.
Yeah. So hey, well, listen, TJ, we could probably go for another 2 hours, but I gotta get rest.
I gotta go to sleep. Man.
And I think this has been an hour. And I hope.
Yeah, I've got 4 fucking houses to do tomorrow. Ugh.
No, you don't. You're gonna go out now, and what's your wife's name?
Jennifer.
Jennifer's gonna go put the drill down.
Right.
And you're gonna go.
I am going to be tinkering in the shop this weekend for sure. So I'm going to be testing those things out for everyone.
Have to put holes every 2 inches. Put 2 in there. See how you like it. I've
got enough of those channels laying around to where I can fucking Swiss cheese one.
They don't have to be 1/8 inch. I prefer the 1/8 inch hole.
I trust your judgment, Mark. I'm going to do it the same way that you do it and just see what happens. I'm going to do a whole video on it for everyone so they can see the tricks.
Yeah, we'll call this Constructor Channel.
Constructor Channel, yeah. Well, guys, you go to www.outlawwindowcleaner.com, get you some Black Diamond squeegee rubber, some Legend channels, some Outlaw Window Cleaner t-shirts, a coffee mug. Go to www.marktannersuperawesome.com, and you can go and get you some a rubber horse head,
yes.
A snow dong, big mud and tires for your truck, and Swiss cheese channels.
Listen, I got one more thing to say before we go, because we're going to cover this on the next podcast.
Yes.
And it's going to be a topic that is my fucking pet peeve.
Okay.
Okay? If you're on window cleaning page, no matter which one it is, and there's 100 of them,
yeah,
whatever one you prefer, and you're asking someone how much to charge for a job, you need to put your equipment away.
Yeah,
because guess what, guys? It doesn't even matter about your market or my market. It has to do with how much do you need to make to keep your company.
There you go. I don't like saying that to guys because they get mad at you.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, what are you fucking? Why are you asking us how much to charge for this? Just charge what you feel it's worth, and that's fucking that.
Yeah, this whole I get more than you, but okay, you get more than me, but I'm 3 times as fast. So at the end of the day, I did more than you.
Exactly.
Who gives I saw this guy get filleted about this cancer center. And I said, between 250 to 300 where I live, and you're going to get it out of there in a certain amount of time.
That was Henry. That's his wife. His wife is sick.
Yeah.
His wife's sick.
I think he's a great guy. And let me tell you something. Henry, you need to make what makes you profitable.
Exactly.
Because guess what? It doesn't matter what anyone else says or does. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, if you can take 1/3 and put it to profit, 1/3 and put it to operations of the company, and 1/3 in your pocket, you hit a home run.
Yep.
And if
Fuck
you can
these
clean windows
guys.
just fast as me, that means you can charge half as much and make the same money.
Mm-hmm.
End of story.
Mm-hmm.
End of it.
I don't give a discussion.
Yeah. So we'll get into that more. I appreciate all you guys. TJ, stay safe out there, buddy.
Yep, I will, bud.
And you guys have a great rest of the week and enjoy the weekend.
All right, guys. Peace out.
Outlaw Window Cleaner Radio, reminding you to get your Black Diamond squeegee rubbers at www.outlawwindowcleaner.com. Oh yeah, and Luke's still a bitch.